Hi, this is Frankie Pace. Every Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, The Frankie Pace Show brings you the best eclectic interviews done with comedians, singers, actors, playwrights, musicians, producers, directors, and people of all interest. You can also listen to comedy sketches like Ask the Godfather, Herb and Eddie, Groper from Sesame Place, Huck and Finn, Pothead Lenny, Words of Wisdom by Habib, Talking with Grandpa, and of course, Frankie's Rants. Where? All here on www.thefrankiepace.com. Hi, this is Frankie Pace. This is The Frankie Pace Show. My guest tonight is Rondell Sheridan, actor, comedian, director. He's best known for his 6-year portrayal of Chef Victor Baxter, a goofy but lovable father of a psychic teenager in the Disney Channel sitcom That's So Raven and Cory in the House. Rondell has also appeared in over 200 half-hour television sitcoms, and we have him here tonight on The Frankie Pace Show.
I know. This is the end of the road.
Rondell, how are you, Rondell?
What is going on, man?
You sound good, brother. It's been a while.
It's been a long time.
Would you just come off a cruise? You've been working cruise ships recently, or?
I was working cruising home for like 4 days, and I'm taking off in another 4 days for about 3 weeks. I always think about you out here in L.A. There's a guy. I haven't seen him in a while, but he used to not dress. He had. It's hard to explain. His hair was pointed, and he had devil's horns. And I'd heard about this guy. Like, people would call, and you'd be in a car, and somebody say, "Hey, I saw the devil today." We have Jesus in L.A. in Hollywood. Guy who walks around Hollywood dressed like Jesus.
Right.
Long robe, beard. Like, if you saw him, you'd go, "Oh, that's Jesus." I don't know what he does. So a friend of mine saw Jesus one day at a restaurant, not dressed as Jesus, but she recognized him. And she says to him, she goes, "Hey, you're that Jesus guy." And he's downplaying. He's just, trying to play her off. And she's like, "How do you play me off when your day job is dressing like Jesus? How do you do that?" Anyway, we had this guy who used to go around Hollywood with his hair and these little horn things. And people would say, "Hey, I saw a devil today." And so I finally saw him, like, this was about 3 or 4 years ago. And I thought about you, and I was like, yeah, I've seen a better horny little devil guy before.
Yeah, well, I was walking around and doing my show with the horns on. Maybe they got the idea from that. Who knows?
Yeah, but he had his hair like that. It was the weirdest thing. A little red tip.
Was he short like me?
Yeah.
That was me, man. That was me on Melrose Avenue trying to get on at the Improv. You sound great, man. You sound great. So things are still going good for you, huh? You doing all right?
Things are still going. They're still laughing at the jokes, so,
Yeah, you've been a busy guy, man. You did that long stint with Disney. How was that for you?
It was okay. It was a combination of mixed blessings. It was good to get, to have steady work as an actor. But as a comic, it didn't help at all, because I didn't have a kids act. I was still doing my show.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, I see what you're saying, yeah.
My manager was like, "Well, can't you get your audience to come to the show?" And I got, my audience is 14-year-old kids.
Right.
They're not allowed in the comedy club.
Unless you want to bring milk and put milk on the tables.
There you go. I always wanted to be that actor where you get all the sexy women coming up to you. But with all the kids coming up to you, I always go, "Hey, where's your mama? She's single? Where's she at?"
Well, you got another 10 years and you'll have another big audience, man. You'll have a reinsurgence. That'll be cool.
I know, but by that time I'll be old.
So what? You'll still be working.
Out in a wheelchair.
So what? You come out, man, and go, "There he is, man. There he is." It's Chef Victor. Hey, Chef Victor. So what stuff did you produce? You were producing some stuff too, or?
No, I do this. I do these short films with the John D'Aquino acting school.
Mm-hmm.
We just got to finishing a couple shorts, and editing them. If you're bored and you're at home and you want to go to RondellSheridan.com, you can go check out the shorts that we do. They're really well produced.
Yeah.
And so that's what I was doing. We shot those Halloween week, and we're going to put some new ones up.
How many of those do you have going?
We shoot twice a year, sometimes 3 times a year.
Oh yeah, that's pretty cool. That's cool.
Big production, big whole thing. Yeah.
So you live in that big LA life, huh? That big LA lifestyle.
I don't know if it's a big LA life. I'm living in LA. I miss New York though, man. That's funny because growing up in Chicago, I like the big city, but LA doesn't feel like a big city.
Yeah. Where'd you start in Chicago? Did you start at the?
Didn't I started in New York. I came to from Chicago. I went to Marquette University in Milwaukee, and then I got accepted to acting school. I got accepted to Circle in the Square in New York, and so I drove out, went to Circle for a year, and I met this girl, and one of my classmates' sister was a stand-up comic, and so I'd never met her before, and I met this girl at this party, and we just kind of clicked. And later on, it turned out to be one of my classmates' sister. Her name was Vanda Michaels. I don't know if you knew Vanda.
Vanda Michaels, sure.
But I had a huge crush on Vanda. I would say today, they call it stalking. And I just had a crush on her, and I'd follow her everywhere. And we used to go down to Mostly Magic in Manhattan. And then I think the big guy there was Dan Vitale.
Yeah.
But everybody else had been doing stand-up comedy maybe a year and a half. Susie Essman, I saw her the first time she went on stage. And so I kept going there for about 3 months, and finally Vanda said, you're funny, you should try it. And
yeah.
It got me started.
You praise yourself on being very clean in the Cosby mode.
Well, corporate-wise and cruise-wise, but, it's a weird, I don't know if there's other comics like me. I'm sure
yes, there are.
But,
there are.
Able to do able to do Conan and Ferguson and all that stuff. Able to do corporate dates. Able to do the cruise concert dates. But when I'm working a club, it is such the regular club act that you'd expect.
Right.
Just figured out how to clean things up to do them in the huge concert-wise, but when I do clubs, it's still the regular club.
So when you're on a ship, though, don't they split the acts up now? They give you got to do like a half-hour family show, then they have an hour club show. Is that how that works?
It all depends on what cruise line you're on. I know that I'm getting ready to do the Oasis on Saturday. Mm-hmm. The Oasis has Royal Caribbean. They have the 2 of the largest cruise ships in the world, and they have a comedy club there, and we do 2 shows a night, half-hour show, and it's 18 and over, so you can do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
So.
What about the main room? Don't they call you up there? Don't you have to do the main room too?
No. Main room is completely different. The great thing about the ship, the only comedy on the ship is in the club.
Ah. I see.
Yeah, all the other, they either have their production shows or they have singers, but they don't have any comedy in the main show.
So they're bringing the city to the ship, actually.
Yep.
And because they're doing
That's
that.
kind of fun. The only drawback is there's 2 shows a night.
They're doing that with restaurants too, aren't they? They're having segregated restaurants now.
Wait, what'd you say about segregated?
I mean, segregated. Yo, brother, I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that kind of segregated. I didn't mean that kind of segregated, man. I was talking about segregated from the main, the main restaurant. I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, they got every kind of fancy restaurant you could imagine.
Yeah, I mean the guy with the that goes diners, dives, and something. He's on TV. He's got Jimmy something. I forget his name. He's got a slew of restaurants in there. There's a whole bunch of them. Even Subways, I think, are on there. They have Subways.
Yeah, I know they got Johnny Rockets. They got Johnny Rockets on the ship that I'm going to, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Why wouldn't you think that there can't be any more food on the cruise ship? There is more food.
They still have those tremendous plates where you can actually go surfboarding on those plates.
No, they just basically they give you, like when you break something and you get the little whisk broom and the little dustpan. Mm-hmm. They give you that where you just shovel it in your mouth nonstop.
I saw a guy one day. I mean, some of these people come on and they've got rear ends the size of Montana.
Oh my God, they're huge. Like I have a lot of women friends that are in their 40s, and they think that they go, "Oh my God, I'm fat," and I go, "No, you're not fat. You go on a cruise ship.
Come on,
see what
ship.
America looks like," and they go, "Yeah, then." Yeah,
And a lot of them are riding on those three-wheel little riders, and
Those things are everywhere,
Yeah.
flying up and down, all over the place.
I'm surprised.
Yeah.
I was surprised the cruise director doesn't have a race one day, man.
Well, that would actually be a good idea. That's actually a good idea. Like,
Today is race day. Get your big butts up here, and you know who was in one of those chairs? Remember Mark Rossi?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Mark is. He got so big. I think he hit like 360, and his knees went.
Oh, my God. I figured back then he would have got one of those staples.
Oh God, he should have, but he's in one of those three-wheelers, and he's happy now because he could eat more. Oh, that's so sad. I saw him the last time I was up there. Well, I saw him about a couple of years ago. I said, Mark, what are you doing? I could eat more, man. I was like, holy crap.
He was a big dude back then. It's been like 30 years since I've seen him.
Oh yeah, he's tremendous. He's just a shame. Guy loves food. What are you gonna do?
Well, what's his last name?
Rossi.
What's his last name?
Rossi.
Italian food gonna kill you. Like his last name was Jones Smith. His DNA was already predetermined. It's like you squeeze his DNA out, it's gonna be tomato sauce that's gonna come out of there. Doctor's like, you got no choice. I'm sorry. You're fat. You're Italian. They go together.
Hey man, that's what they're gonna do. You gotta eat it. This is stuff. It's good for you, you know. So, how was it working on the Late Show with Ferguson? He's a pretty cool guy, huh?
Ferguson was great. I've known Craig for a long time. I knew him when he first came out. My manager used to manage him, and so he had just did a film that he wrote, trying to figure out. It was kind of cool seeing a comic come to the States because what is Craig? Scottish?
Yeah, I think he's Scottish. Yeah.
But the network's trying to figure out what they were going to do with him, trying to figure out which show they were going to put him in, stuff like that. So it took them a while, but he worked a while with what's his name, who's hosting The Price is Right now. Why can I think of it?
Oh, I know, the blonde-headed guy.
Yeah.
That's how we are today. We don't remember names, just faces and hair.
Yeah.
The guy with the water on his nose.
Yeah.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
But then that was like around when Bob Costas was leaving his show.
Wait a minute, I'm thinking of Wheel of Fortune. That's how stupid I am.
No, the stand-up comic. He used to wear glasses.
Yeah.
He doesn't wear glasses anymore.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. He has an improv show on TV too.
Yeah, we know.
He had his own sitcom.
Yep.
And we don't know his name.
That's sad.
Drew Carey.
Drew, I was going to say Drew, and then I couldn't forget the last name.
I went through this with John Coffey. Do you know John Coffey?
Oh, yeah.
John Coffey and I were trying to figure out who Anthony Quinn was for 15 minutes. We went through everything you can think of. It got to the point I couldn't stop laughing because it was so stupid. Then I got Anthony Quinn's photo on the website, and it didn't have his name underneath. It was even worse.
They're like, Zorba, he's Mexican.
Yeah, right. He
That's
played.
the thing that would throw everybody off. They go, he's Mexican. Wait, who are you talking about?
Yeah, he was the guy that married Kennedy's wife. Remember that guy? He owned the ships, and it was getting It was getting too wacky, man. So what's this thing? Men are from Mars, women are from Venus.
That was the best job I ever had.
You were a host.
I did a talk show for about 6 months.
Yeah, you hosted that. Yeah.
Originally, it was a talk show that Sybil Shepherd did. It was called Sybil. And then I was on Sybil's show maybe about 4 times, just as a guest, just as a funny guest on.
Yeah.
And I kept watching the show, and at the time, the show was Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, hosted by Sybil Shepherd. And I had said to one of the producers, I said, I'm a nobody, but I have a couple ideas for this show. I said, there's not a guy on this show. You got Sybil, but there's no man on the show.
Right.
The show's called Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus.
Right.
And Sybil would say some outrageous stuff about men, and I said, there's nobody to call her on it. You need another guy on the show. And I said, I'm not looking, to steal any of Sybil's time. I said, what would be really cool is, because she always had questions for the audience.
Yeah.
And I said, why can't it be the sidekick? Why can't I be the guy that holds the microphone when she goes into the audience? And that way, at least I can give her a little, feedback back and forth.
Yeah.
And so I didn't know what was going on with her contract, but out of nowhere, her contract was up. And so they put together a little dream team. It was Dr. Drew, Sam Phillips, Bo Griffin, and man, I can't think of the other, Christine Farrar. And we had a really great time. We did that for about almost a year, about 3/4 of a year.
What network were you on when you did that?
That was syndicated.
Syndicated.
We were on we're basically The View with two guys.
Oh, okay.
But we were some places we were opposite The View. Some places we were on in the afternoon. Some places we were on like at 1 o'clock in the morning. But that gig was the most fun.
And there was another one, Show Me the Funny.
Show Me the Funny. That was two shows that was I did Show Me the Funny and That's Funny, which were both Vindabona shows, which Vindabona does America's Funniest Videos.
Yeah, he does all those crazy shows.
Yeah, so we basically had all the bootleg videos that America's Funniest Video didn't use with that show.
You know, I won that stupid show.
You did?
Yeah, it was.
You serious?
Yeah, it was between me and a llama in a tuxedo.
What was your video?
I did the sneeze in space with the wire.
Oh my God!
And it was, and I'm going, oh my God, I'm on this stupid show. Millions of people are watching, and I'm going to lose to a llama.
Oh my God!
Because the llama they did like a voiceover that he was a mobster. They dressed him up as in a suit with a cigar and something. So I'm sitting there, I'm sweating bullets, man. Then they called my name out. I was like, whoa, that was unbelievable.
Wow.
Yeah. Dave Coulier was the host of that show.
Yep.
And who was it? Oh God, I can't think of the comic. It was the warm-up comic again. The crazy hair and the mustache. Here we go again. Alzheimer's.
No, that one I don't know.
Yeah. You would know him if I mentioned his name.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, so you got this out. You got the CD out. It's called Banana and a Gun. What's that all about?
Give you a banana and a gun? It is very funny. You must buy the CD. People in Africa really love the CD.
Yeah, I like the Jamaican bit with the...
the nude beach?
Yeah.
I went to the nude beach.
I like the one where the pilot's going to take off, but he can't. Can you look out the window and you see smoke coming out of his window?
Yeah, I don't know what took me so long to get a CD out. I've done so many comedy specials that I was never thinking about my own self-promotion.
Yeah.
And I just been recently, the past couple of years, I was talking to a bunch of comics, and they're like, dude, you should get a CD out. So that was my goal for 2011.
So what do you have? Is it on CD Baby and iTunes?
CD Baby, iTunes, and Amazon.
Oh, cool.
And through my website, if you go to rondellsheridan.com.
Okay, that's not bad. So how'd you like doing a Tonight Show with? You did it once with Carson. That must have been unbelievable.
Carson was fantastic. It was the dream come true. It's like I have two goals that I want to do. One of them was to do the Tonight Show, and that was comedy related. The only reason I got into comedy was to do the Tonight Show with Johnny.
Right.
And the other is to write a slow jam like Always and Forever by Heatwave. That's it. That'll never happen, but that's my musical goal.
Yeah, you'll get there. You can get there. Don't worry about it.
The whole Tonight Show thing was just a fluke. Not a fluke, but I had a friend of mine from New York who was friends with Macaulay, who was the entertainment director there, and she said, "Yeah, if you go to L.A., just give Macaulay a call and tell him you're my friend, and he'll come see you." And I go, "Oh, okay."
Jim Macaulay.
Think about it. And I wish I could think of the comic. John Ross.
John Ross.
Yeah. So I call up Macaulay, and Macaulay says, "Hey, I'm going to be at the Tonight Show. I'm going to be at the Improv. I'm going to see John Ross. If you can go on either before him or after him, I'll come and see you. If not, then you got to set up some other time."
Yeah.
I go, okay. And by then, I'd already done, like you also, we had done everything at the beginning of our careers, because this was 1990 for Carson.
Right.
We'd already done all the beginning stuff for the comedy. At the time, it was the Comedy Channel. It wasn't Comedy Central. It was the Comedy Channel. So we had done every TV show there, and then Comic Strip Live was already out, even at the Improv. I had already done all these national shows, but my goal was to do the Tonight Show. So I had tons of tape to bring in the show. And So that night I went to the Improv. He was talking. I saw Macaulay when I walked in. Was talking to John Ross, and I didn't say anything. I just went on, do my set. Had a great set. Out, and I went home. I didn't think about it. I'm like, I'm not gonna, sit around and suck up, whatever. I'm just gonna go.
Yeah.
So at the time, I came out to L.A. just on a look-see. I came out for about 4 months, and my roommate at the time was Janeane Garofalo and Jeff Garland. Okay. So I get home that afternoon. I went to the gym, went to play basketball. Come home about 1 o'clock, and the moment I walk in the door, Garland's there, and he's like, "Dude, where have you been? The Tonight Show called." I'm like, "Yeah, shut up." He goes, "No, seriously, the Tonight Show called. They want you to come by right now." I'm like, Stop it. He goes, "No, seriously, here's the number. This guy called you twice." So I call, and Macaulay's like, "Where were you last night?" And I said, "Well, I saw you talking to John, and I took off." He goes, "Can you come by?" And I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Bring your tapes." So we sit, and I didn't know the drill for the Tonight Show. We sit, and I show him a tape, and he goes, "Show me something else." And he goes, "Huh? Show me something else." And all the time he's watching the tape, and he's like, "That's funny." That's funny.
Right.
And finally he turns to me and goes, "Are you writing this down when I say that's funny?" And I go, "No, I hadn't thought of it, but I'll start writing it down now." So when it was over, I remember this thing. Remember that magazine called Just for Laughs that came out of San Francisco?
Yep.
It was like a newspaper kind of a thing.
Right.
On the cover of that newspaper, they did this article on Jonathan Winters. And I was a huge fan. I think most comics were. I'm a huge fan of Jonathan Winters. And so we're upstairs in Macaulay's office at the Tonight Show, and we walk downstairs, and at the bottom of the stairs is Jonathan Winters, who's going to be on the show that night. And Jonathan Winters says something to me that is a complete non sequitur. To this day, I can't remember what he said. He could have said, "Man, I got hot dogs in my shoe," whatever he said. And I just went with him. Jonathan and I start riffing for like 5 minutes on this non sequitur that he said, and it's just two of us. We're not riffing like for an audience.
Yeah.
We are just riffing on this tangent, and my brain is just screaming, "Just keep up, just keep up." And that was the coolest thing I remember. So I get back home, and I see John Ross at the club, and he goes, "What happened to you last night?" He goes, "Macaulay was only talking about you." And I said, "I thought he was talking about your Tonight Show set." He goes, "No, he was just talking about you." He goes, "Did you get the show?" And I go, "How the hell do I know?" And he goes, "Well, what did you do in his office?" And I said, we watched my tapes, and he thought stuff was funny. He goes, "Dude, he's putting together your Tonight Show set already. You got the Tonight Show, trust me." And about 3 weeks later, I got the call. It goes, "You got your date?" It was I think it was May 12th. And that was it, man.
Did you get to do panel with Johnny?
No. And you know what? I was more than happy. I had like, in 5.5 minutes, I had like 12 applause breaks. It was the best TV set I've ever had.
Yeah.
And when it was over, I got the okay from Johnny, and you could see on the tape when it fades out, Johnny says, "Yeah, that's really great to see a comic first time go out like that." And then I went back to New York, and I was in New York for a couple months, and Macaulay called me up, and it was the funniest thing. He goes, "What are you doing on such and such date?" And I didn't even have my calendar. I go, "Whatever I'm doing on that date, obviously I'm going to cancel because you're calling me about the Tonight Show."
Right.
And so he goes, "Well, let me call you back." He goes, "Don't hold it in stone yet. Let me call you back, and I'll let you know if it works out." So I go out and buy a suit. I'm already buying the Tonight Show suit. I'm already set. And so I get back, and he left a message. He goes, "It's not going to work out, but we'll get you back. We'll definitely get you back." And then I think about 3 months later, I moved to L.A., and this is at the end of 1990. And then the next 4 months later, Johnny announced his retirement, and I think every comic knew that was it. Unless you were a really big comic, the odds of you getting on during that last 9 months farewell for Johnny.
Yeah.
That'd be really hard, but I was happy to do that. And then doing it with Jay Leno was just cool, because I'd always seen Jay around, and Jay was always a nice guy, so it was great.
How was the Conan O'Brien show? How was that working out?
Conan was really fun, especially, I did Conan twice, 3 times, I'm trying to remember. I think I did it twice. And the second time I did it, they were almost going to have to cancel the show, because Conan was sick. And they said he had laryngitis. And they said, "Okay, we don't really know if we're going to cancel the show." Or they said, "We might have you do panel, because you'll do your 5 minutes stand-up, and then maybe we'll have 6 minutes of panel." so that you could do more talking, so that Conan doesn't have to talk.
Right.
So I wound up doing the panel, and by that time I'd done so much TV that doing that panel was just really great. And Conan was a great, you get a great host that just laughs and does your setups everywhere perfectly.
Right.
So that was great. And I had this really simple joke that Conan didn't realize, because they don't see what you're going to say. They just ask you the questions.
Right.
And so I had this really great joke that just got him. And I said, why is it that the word ambulance is written backwards on an ambulance? And so Conan goes, so you could read it backwards in your rearview mirror. And I said, so Conan, you mean to tell me that if you couldn't read it backwards, you'd have no clue that there is a large emergency vehicle behind you with the lights flashing? And he just fell into it so perfectly. It just laughed so
That's
hard.
funny, man. It is funny, don't you think about it? It is funny.
It was the perfect setup. I was like, yeah, you did that. We're great.
So life is treating you pretty good now. Huh? You married? You settled in? What? You got kids? What are you doing?
No kids. That was my girlfriend that you that you heard that when you called earlier that answered the phone. Gigi. My girlfriend is teeny. It's not a joke. My girlfriend is 4'10". She's a garden gnome, basically. I think I once had it. We had a yard sale and somebody tried to buy her. Really teeny.
You're almost what? What are you, about 5'9"?
Excuse me, I am 5'11" on a good day.
Oh God, that's a little off there, man. How do you maneuver? That's got to be fun when you're getting into it.
You would think that, but I had a joke the first time she had a sleepover here. I actually lost her in bed. I'm serious. I'm king size bed. It's a huge bed. She's 4'10". Man. Like you stick your leg and you try to find the person you're with.
Right.
I'm moving my leg. I thought she left. I thought she left. I'm like, holy crap! Must have been bad. She left. She's just in the corner like a cat, just sleeping in the corner of the bed.
Where'd you meet her, Rondell?
I met her. The funny thing, I met her on a cruise. Because she's a travel agent, and she's more of like a cruise concierge. Brings groups of people on world cruises, and then she sets up all the tours.
She goes with you?
Them.
Do you work with her? Do you work together on the cruises, or is it?
No, she's got her own agenda. I told her when I met her, I said, you know what? This is God playing a cruel trick on me. He goes, I'm finally going to let you meet the woman of your dreams. Unfortunately, she travels as much as you do.
But it's a good relationship. You got plenty of room, man. You can relax. You can do your thing. You can have your little man cave in your head. Yeah,
we're always happy when we sit back and go, I can't believe you're home. I'm like, I can't believe you're home.
Ah, cool, man. That's good. That's good. Well, listen, I want to wish you a lot of luck, and I think it's great that you're still doing comedy and enjoying yourself, and you're going to be on these cruise ships. What's the major lines? Any line or just? I
work for 5 different lines: Princess, Royal Caribbean, Celebrity, Holland America, and Royal Caribbean.
Oh, cool. And what's the name of that? Banana and a Gun.
Banana and a Gun.
And
Rondell Sheridan, Banana Gun, iTunes, Amazon, CD Baby, or RondellSheridan.com.
All right, man. That's cool, man. Listen, I want to thank you for coming on the show. It's great to hear your voice again, brother.
Thank you. I like the music at the beginning. Who is that?
Luther Vandross.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah, I play for the brothers, man.
Look at you.
Did you ever run into Barry Berry at all?
Oh, man, I haven't seen Barry in a long time. I used to see him, forgot what show I was doing, that I used to see Barry for a while. And then when I did a guest, this is years ago, on Jamie Foxx show, Barry was on that show.
Yeah. Barry was one of the writers for Living Color for the folks out there. He used to write with Franklin and Ajay. They wrote the Homeboy Shopping Network routine.
Oh, yeah.
That was a funny bit, man. Listen, you take care of yourself, and thanks for coming on the show and giving up some of your time. I know you're a busy cat, man, and enjoy the little woman. And have a great life, and take care, and I'll talk to you again, man.
Got it, man. I'll talk to you.
All right, take care. That was Rondell Sheridan. You can get his CD. It's called Banana and a Gun. It's on iTunes. It's on CD Baby, and it's everywhere. It's good, and it's funny. I listen to it. It's very funny.